Wow. I can't believe I'm going live for the first time on YouTube. This is nice. My eyebrows look a little crazy, but that's okay. Let's see if anybody joins here. Not really sure how this gets pushed out, but we shall see. How is everybody? Pretty sure this is going to be saved somewhere, so not even sure really how to share this. So I guess I could be on live for a long time without anybody joining. Interesting. So this is weird. How do you go live? Okay. Well, it looks like we're probably doing something here, but oh my gosh, look at that. Totally crooked. Totally crooked. I love to talk, so I'm gonna keep talking till someone joins. I'm gonna keep talking till someone joins. Start talking anyway. Keep going live consistently, and those first 5 minutes will go. After 5 minutes, what happens? Okay, so we never want to end a stream because only a few people show up. That's the fastest way to train YouTube not to promote you. So the exact rule, according to this, is that I should keep going exactly as planned, still keep going exactly as planned, and keep going exactly as planned. YouTube's algorithm keeps watching retention and engagement for the first entire 30 to 60 minutes. If you cut it short at 8 minutes because nobody came, you just told the algorithm the content isn't worth promoting. Next time it'll send it to. So what is the minimum for the first live that I should try and obtain? For your very first one, full 30 minutes. Okay. We can do that. We can do 30 minutes just hanging out, talking to myself. Talking to myself. I'm in Vegas right now. What do I do when I'm in Vegas? I go live. That's what I do when I'm in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Am I right? I'm really going to have to fix that. And it's tripping me out. I'm going to go do that really quick. And it's all the way over here. Definitely not where I thought it was. I don't think that's really going to make or break anything about this live stream, but what are you going to do? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? I wish that I also had better lighting, but we're stuck with what we've got, people. You know, I can move over here and we might be able to get like slightly better lighting this way. So that would be good. There we go. Got some better lighting going on. I think it's like really tricky how the camera is flipped for me right now. So I'm going to have to work on that. Also, I couldn't get the live to go through on my phone, which is really weird. And I kind of wish that that was different. So this is like a lot different than I feel like TikTok is. That's for sure. Your first stream is practice plus algorithm training. Treat it like that, and you'll grow way faster than 99% of the people who quit at 8 minutes because nobody showed up. You've got this. Just hit 30 minutes the first time, and you're already ahead of the game. Okay. So, in order to keep retention, it says that the highest leverage retention tricks usually, let's see here, the thumbnail, the title that will deliver curiosity, all that stuff. Okay, so I also just put my first comment in there, so we'll see how that goes. That's fun. Okay, so I think that so we need 60-second hook in the first minute. Is this what we're doing right now? Loop every 40. Whoa. If you're just joining, welcome in. We are breaking down the exact system that eliminated 89. Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It wants me to be the friend that overshares on FaceTime. That's definitely me. I definitely overshare on FaceTime and in person and pretty much anywhere else that I can. So this should be extremely easy. Today, I'm ranking the most chaotic things I've said in meetings. Number 3 got a warning from HR. Ooh, that could be actually a really good thing for me to do. Crazy things that have happened in meetings. Or we could just really say the corporate world, because that is definitely okay. So if I had to talk about three of the craziest things that ever happened in the corporate world to me, I would say that, oh, actually, I did get sent to HR about a meeting. We'll come back to that. But I think that number one was the guy that was a temporary associate that we had hired for a project. And he had, I mean, a mountain of candy in his desk. And the dude was always sleeping. Like, he was always just so tired. Like, we'd be walking by his desk and he would be like, just nodding out, right? And we'd be like, "What is wrong with this dude? Like, you can't nod out at your desk, dude. Like, you got to work, right?" And so, anyway, he ended up getting fired. And when we had to clean out his desk, we found all of this candy. Like, I mean, like it was Halloween in his desk drawer. And we all kind of joked, like, if this guy has this much candy in his desk drawer, then like why is he sleeping? Like, he should have like so much energy from all of the sugar, but maybe that's it. Maybe he was sleeping and wasn't eating the candy. That could have been a problem. So we've got candy eating guy. That's one of them. And then let's see here. Ooh, we have squirrel lady. Oh, I got to tell you about squirrel lady. Okay, so I got pregnant with my daughter when I was 21. It was not the perfect timing, but the timing really doesn't matter. I don't know why I said that. It just was, I was young. That's really where I was going with that. I was really, really young. And there was this girl that worked with me, and she was also very young. She said that her husband worked at the university and kind of had everybody believing that he was a professor, when in actuality he was part of the janitorial service, which, no shade to the janitorial service industry, but like leading people to believe that he's like a top professor versus like he just works there, like just as an employee, is crazy to me. Like, we don't have to lie about that. We can just be like, he works at the university and leave it at that. You know what I mean? You don't have to like make people believe that he's like some top professor. So, anyway, once I got pregnant, I would bring in my ultrasounds because it was a little weird. Since I had a sister who was born with a hole in her heart, they thought, okay, we need to treat you like a high risk pregnancy. And so I had to have ultrasounds every single, um, I think it was like every single, like 8 weeks or something like that. And so I got a lot more ultrasounds for my daughter than I did my son, because once she popped out okay, they were like, "You're not high risk anymore. You're just fine." But anyway, I would bring my ultrasounds into work and we'd all goo goo and gaga over them. And one day she brings an ultrasound in, and it's like not on the right paper, or at least when I say the right paper, I mean the paper that mine came on and that I have historically seen ultrasound photos on. Like, the, uh, it almost feels like a receipt. It almost feels like a receipt, but a picture, like a Polaroid, but like a Polaroid with like the receipt feel. And anyway, she brought one in and it did not look normal. Like, it didn't look like mine. It didn't have her identifying information on it like it did me, that kind of thing. And so anyway, we were looking at it one day and one of my coworkers was like, "Dude, I'm pretty sure that that's like an ultrasound of like a squirrel." And we believe that she pretended to be pregnant even though she wasn't. And that was kind of like further like driven home that maybe like there was something really wrong with this chick, because she ended up getting fired. And the reason that she got fired was because we were reviewing like paperwork where we sent somebody paperwork that said, hey, listen, you're going to get a pension and it's for free. You worked for 20 something years and now you get a pension. And we just need you to fill out this paperwork and we need you to sign it and we need you to date it and we need you to provide a bunch of documents that says this is definitely you. So your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, divorce decrees, death certificates, if that was, something that was needed. All sorts of documentation is needed. Basically, huge deal, right? And somebody had elected their taxes incorrectly, like the amount of taxes that they wanted taken out. And when they did that, we would just default it. So let's say that somebody was trying to have $10 removed, but they didn't do it correctly and the form's all messed up. We would just set them at like married with three withholding, married with three exemptions. That's just what everybody got, that was the default if you didn't fill out the form correctly. And then we'd send you the form and say, hey, listen, you filled this out incorrectly. Your first paycheck is going to have this amount come out, but like you can change it for the future. Here's what you did wrong. But instead of doing that for a particular person, she decided that she was going to take black ink, and on the paper that was filled out in blue ink, she was going to put the correct withholding and sign that puppy for them. And we were like, hey, you can't do that. That's literally fraud. And so anyway, we had to fire her. And so I think that we have three lies and one truth. And there's three lies. There's I have a professor for a husband. I'm pregnant with a squirrel baby. And I like to write in other people's information when I'm not supposed to. And the truth is that you cannot work or be around uh, financial information when that's occurring. So she got let go. And then what's the third crazy thing that's ever happened in the corporate world to me? We've got the candy eating guy, we have our squirrel lady, and then I think that, let's see here. I used to have a bunch of stories when I worked at a pretty big company, and they had open enrollment for health benefits. So when a company, like around this time of year in December and January, there's a big push, right? Like you probably get something from your employer around that time. It's like, hey, if you want to change your benefits or if you're new in town and you want benefits, here's how you're going to do that. You're going to fill out this paperwork, you're going to elect your health insurance, and then that comes out of your check every month, or every couple of weeks. And we would have people who would get hired just as temporary employees, and they would only work for that particular amount of time that open enrollment was happening. And then if they were really, really good and they were just outstanding and really threw everybody out of the park, they sometimes got hired. So it wasn't like, you just kind of constantly had a bunch of temps. It would be around that time. And then some of them would get, hired permanently. But I think that a lot of the temps that worked there were thinking, like, I don't know what they were thinking. I think a lot of them might have been young. And a lot of them dressed like maybe we just came home from the club, like clear, really, really high heels with very, very short skirts. One person actually wore fishnet stockings with the short skirt, which I was like, okay, but like we're corporate, like corporate. And I mean, I don't know what the rules are at your corporate company, but mine was like no fishnet stockings. That's how mine handled that. So I would say fishnet stockings girl might be the in the top three, if not maybe number one, just because she did pull it off. She looked really good. We just had to tell her that, hey, that's not really the way that this goes. So, anyway, That would be the crazy things that have happened in the corporate world to me. Still, no one has joined this live, so I'm still just talking to myself. But this is probably way harder, I think, than TikTok is. TikTok is a little bit nicer to you. They kind of throw people into the room. But I know that I have like a lot of work to do to grow on, YouTube of all places. I mean, it's a huge platform, and so you can't just be expected to be invited in. You know what I mean? You have to work hard for it. So I think I'm down for it. I'm trying to get used to going live and talking on a camera and saying really stupid stuff and maybe even looking a little stupid, but honestly, why not? I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I go viral? That would be fun. That would be cool. And then it'll make it all worth it. And then, I mean, I guess the worst thing that could happen is I get no followers, no subscribers, and I just sit here spinning for the rest of my life. That could be one. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, I've already talked for 21 minutes and, you know, got a little bit more experience than I had before, which is good. And then we just kind of have to hope that the algorithm will algorithm the next time that I go live. And I'm actually thinking about putting together some like podcast material, and I might film some of that stuff while my husband's doing his thing tomorrow. We're currently in Las Vegas. Um, he has a work conference here, and I am just tagging along because why not? Like, why would you not tag along to Las Vegas? You know what I mean? So, anyway, maybe this is my sign to start uploading some of my podcast materials so that way I can actually get people to join these lives because they'll be interested in potentially what I have to say. I mean, we'll see. I know that I have a lot to say, usually, always. And so, um, why not let the masses hear it? You know what I mean? Why not just go with the flow? So that's what I'm trying to do. Go with the flow, say things out loud, stream stuff. We'll see if it works. I have already made some money off of TikTok, which is cool. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but it's at least something. It's at least something. I can say I made more money off TikTok than I have at a job this year, which is quite sad. I quit my job last year in December and have not found gainful employment since then. Haven't really been looking, been trying to deal with uh, just life, in general. Um, Trying to figure out some stuff. And maybe that's where the podcast comes in. Maybe I will talk a little bit about that on my podcast and put it out there for the world to see. I guess I'm still probably a little bit nervous, I think, about that prospect, but um, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Me and my husband have a fun list of some things that we want to try to do while we're here in Vegas. And one of them is the Friends experience at MGM. And that looks cool. The tickets are not too bad. And then they have some live dealers that you can go see at the MGM. And we were thinking about maybe going to see that. And then there's a thing called Netflix Bites, and I'm super excited about that because we're definitely doing it. Um, and then there's the Tape Face show. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Tape Face, but definitely Google him, look him up, YouTube him. He is somebody that got started, I think, on America's Got Talent, perhaps. I feel like I remember Howie Mandel being one of the judges for that, but I'm not sure. But he's a comedian and he puts tape on his face. And most of everything that he does doesn't have anything to do with talking. It's more hand movements and different things that he uses on the stage. But I think he's hilarious, and so does my husband. So we're going to try to catch one of his shows. And then for free, we would be able to get a the Bellagio fountain show. So we're looking at maybe doing that. So yeah, lots of fun stuff to do here in Vegas. We've done a little bit of gambling, and don't worry, we're going to come out on top. So we always do. Um, he actually won a little bit of money this evening. I swear that man is so lucky. He is like a good luck charm to me, but then he's also just like a walking around good luck charm, I think, because he just, every time he's around me, I win. He wins a lot. I don't know. I feel like there are certain people out there that have like a lucky bone or something, a lucky streak somewhere in them where they get real lucky. And I don't necessarily have that. But I am always down to be around other people that have it because then I can absorb it, like through, I don't know, osmosis or whatever. I don't even know if that's a thing. I should really Google this stuff before I come on lives. So I'm gonna start doing that. But let's see here. What else? Okay, let's see here. Let us talk about one last thing. Just hit 30 to 40 minutes of actual talking and energy. That's it. Viewer count doesn't matter at all. The algorithm still sees the watch time percentage and rewards you next time. Talk like you're on the phone with someone who can't escape. That's the entire secret for personal streams. You'll be shocked at how fast people start showing up once you do 3 or 4 of these in a row. Have fun with it. I love Google and Chat GPT because it just be telling you everything that you need to know. So the live streams are nothing like TikTok lives. For TikTok lives, you instantly get 50 to 500 viewers. The average stay time is 10 to 90. But if you're good at what you do for YouTube, you can get people to stay for 10 to 40 minutes. And I'm obviously not good because no one has joined this, but we've got 2 more minutes so that way I can make it to 30 minutes and get credit in the right way for the algorithm to algorithm. You're not going to be in there. My husband does not want to be photographed. I wouldn't either, just because, I mean, he's in his undies. Nobody wants to be photographed when they're in their undies. I mean,
I have some photographs of you in your undies.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that on here, but nobody's here, so it's okay. Yeah. It's all right.
There's a really popular in my group streamer. His name is Ludwig. And somebody in his chat after he was super popular asked, was like, what's the most devastating thing that Chatter's ever said to you? And he was like, this was really early on, where it was just my friends and family watching, maybe 1 or 2 random people that found me through the thing on Twitch. And, every time something would happen in the game where I could look away, I just glance over at chat and, I wanted to be a good streamer. I wanted to make sure I was engaged in the conversation. And finally a message popped up and the person said, nothing's going on over here, bro.
Nothing's going on in the chat. Well, I have exactly 20 seconds left, 30 seconds left, sorry. By the time I spit that out, I had 20 seconds left. But I don't know if this gets published. Ooh, don't get motion sickness. I don't know if this gets published like it does on some other places. So maybe this will be the first live stream ever out there on the internet of me in a hotel room rambling, talking about whatever ChatGPT told me to talk about. That could be a thing. Or it could go into the nowhere region and never be seen again. So we won't know until after I end the live, though. That's what I do know. So we made it 30 minutes. I'm just excited that I got to go live on YouTube, if I'm being honest with you. It took a lot to get 50 subscribers. So if you're watching this, because it does keep the stream, make sure that you subscribe because I do upload a bunch of shorts and they're really great. And like I said, I'm working on the podcast stuff and it'll come. Once I get really good at all of this, like streaming and, chatting and all of that, who knows what could happen? I could be like the next Jay Shetty. That would be like an idol, if you will, that we could work towards. Maybe. I'd have to think about that. There might be some other podcasters that I would want to maybe go in the list above that. But just something with purpose, I think is what I'm looking for. We'll see. For now, bye.